So we're going to look at a proof of why alternate angles are equal. We're going to use facts that we already know, such as vertically opposite angles are equal, corresponding angles are equal, and angles on a straight line sum to 180. Those facts are enough to help us with this proof. So you can see on the diagram here, I've got a pair of parallel lines. You can see they're parallel because of the signs on the lines there. And then we've got a transversal that crosses over both of them. The question is asking you to show that angle 3 is equal to angle 8. So it's this angle here and this angle here. So we can see they are alternate angles. So what we want to do is look at a simple proof here. There's lots of different ways to do this. So I'm just going to show you one way to do it. One way I can do it is I can say angle 3 is equal to angle 5. Because they are vertically opposite. So vertically opposite angles are equal. And that I don't need to prove itself, and it's just stated as a fact there. So we can say angle 5 is equal to angle 3. And then the next thing we can say is angle 5 is equal. So you can see this angle here is equal to that angle there. Angle 5 is equal to angle 8. And the reason for that, you may have spotted, is because they are corresponding angles. So corresponding angles are equal. So therefore, we can say if angle 3 is equal to angle 5 and 5 is equal to 8, well then angle 3 must equal angle 8. And that's your proof there. So you can see that they're vertically opposite and those are corresponding. That's basically our proof. There's lots of different ways. For example, I may have used different corresponding pairs to work this out, but this is just going to be your simplest one. Sorry about my handwriting here. Right, so look at some examples of this in terms of questions. Lines A and C are parallel. Which angle is alternate to angle A? So we know this is our angle that we're looking at here. And it says which angle is alternate to angle A. Well, we know that alternate angles have to be in between the parallel lines. So these are our parallel lines. And they also have to be on opposite sides of the transversal. So that leaves us with one potential angle out of all of these, which is angle 3. What's the other pair of alternate angles? The other pair is going to be B and 2. Pause the video and have a go with these, and then I'm going to show the answers. Okay, so it says list all pairs of alternate angles. Now I can see these are the parallel lines, so the angles I'm interested are in these two and these two. So let's look at the ones which are on opposite sides of the transversal, and then we've got our alternate pairs. So I can say B is equal to 2 and C is equal to 1. So they are pairs of alternate angles. Or I can also just put commas. In this case, I can just say B2 and C1. Then it says list all pairs of corresponding angles. Now, there's going to be more pairs of corresponding angles because they don't have to be in between the parallel lines here. So in this case, it's going to be A and 1, B and 4, C and 3, and D and 2. So these are our 4 pairs of corresponding angles. Here's another question here. Write down the missing angle and give your reason. So you now know you could have a few reasons for some of these questions, but only one of them is going to be the easiest answer. And in this case, it's going to be 49 and G are corresponding angles, and corresponding angles in parallel lines are equal. Here's another example of a question. Have a go with this one. So write down the missing angle and give a reason. So we can see that this angle here and this angle here, opposite sides of the transversal and in between the parallel lines. So they're going to be equal to each other because alternate angles in parallel lines are equal. Another example here. Which angle is alternate to C? Pause the video and try this question, and actually try all of these, and then I'm going to go through these bit by bit. So the alternate angle to C, remember, it has to be in between the parallel lines and on the other side of the transversal, which is this, it's going to be H. Which angle is alternate to E? So there's E. So if we look at the other side of the transversal and in between the parallel lines, that's going to give us D is your answer. Which angle is vertically opposite A? So this is A here, vertically opposite is going to be C. Which angle is corresponding to H? So corresponding to H is going to be on the same position on the other parallel line, so that's going to be A. Which angle is vertically opposite to D? So vertically opposite, so imagine two lines crossing over each other, vertically opposite angles. So in this case, D and B are going to be vertically opposite. Which angle is corresponding to E? Well, if this is E, we have the corresponding position is there, that's going to be B. And then which angles sum to 180? Now, there's lots of answers to this. I'm not going to list every pair, but you can see some straightforward examples are A, B, H, E, D, C, A, D, B, C. That might be all of the answers there. I may have missed one, but that's good enough for now. Okay, we do a quick true or false. Angle A is equal to angle B because alternate angles are equal. Is that true or false? So angle A is equal to angle B because alternate angles are equal. So we can see that's false because they're not alternate angles, they're actually just angles on a straight line. And they're not going to be equal to each other, but they will sum to 180. So next one. Angle H is equal to angle C. So C and H are equal because alternate angles in parallel lines are equal. So you can see we've got two parallel lines here. They're opposite. This is the transversal, and this does seem like it's going to be true. So that's true. So angle D equals angle B. True or false? Well, they are not corresponding angles. So they are equal to each other, but they're not corresponding. They are vertically opposite. Okay, so there'll be some more practice on some other videos with this topic, but hopefully that's enough to get you clued up with alternate angles, corresponding angles, and vertically opposite angles.